Hey YouTube, it's me, Brandon Colonel. Just so you know, my nose is really stuffed up right now, so if it sounds like it is, it's because it really is. And and sorry if about the button-down shirt right now. That's just simply due to the fact that I just got off of work a little bit ago, and so I decided to get this video done now, because I've kind of been putting it off for a while. I actually did the video about a month ago. Then I realized that I didn't do it just recently and decided to rewatch the video to make sure I still liked it. And then I pretty much just found that during the second half of the video, it's something that really should have been just a separate video by itself. But it kind of was in the very last few minutes of the first video, because it was a two-part. My phone kind of cut off on me, but yeah. So I'm redoing the video now to make it into the two separate videos that it needs to be. But so this one is the EDC update video. Now I'll get out of the way the stuff that really doesn't ever change. The tube of chapstick doesn't change. My cleaning cloth doesn't change. My watch is the same watch that I've had since the last EDC update, and I'm pretty sure the EDC update before that. I could be mistaken. Still carry my two lanyards on a carabiner. Still got the same keys with the portable tape dispenser, keeping Gorilla Tape on it. I did change out the actual carabiner itself to a stronger one, not the orange one, which that one kept on falling apart on me. I kept on having to replace, well, not replace, but reset the spring so that way the spring would actually work. I have since upgraded my hat. I used to carry around the Air National Guard hat, which was like a khaki tan. Now I've got the United States Air Force F-15 Eagle hat. My parents got me that for my birthday, and so I've been carrying this around now. I still typically have some form of paracord bracelet on me at all times. This is just the random one that I happen to pull out. If ever I'm going out in daylight, then I have these sunglasses on me. They can clip on over top of my prescription lenses. Still got the same change bag. Still have the same mini Swiss Army knife type thing with the blade, the file, which I actually got that backwards. This looking through the viewfinder instead of actually looking at the blade. Got the blade right here, the file right here, and the pair of scissors on it. The wallet hasn't changed. The only thing about the wallet that's really changed is the fact that I actually have a bit of money in here now. But bills to pay, don't really have any money to spend on knives for quite some time now. Seeing as I owe quite a bit of money to different places right now, namely $700 to go into my car. So yeah, probably won't be seeing many knife reviews from me for the next little bit, but I'll see what I can do about just getting out different videos, period. Now, let's see, what else do I got? Okay. I have changed up my multi-tool. I now carry around the Gerber Dime instead of the Gerber Mini Suspension. The pliers just feel so much stronger than the last set. The other set was flimsy. If you kind of torqued your hands back and forth like that, then you could just feel them wobbling. You can feel a bit of wobble here, but it's really negligible. With the last set, when you would actually wobble it, the teeth would so far offset that that they wouldn't even be touching each other anymore. It was that bad. You cannot wobble these enough to where that happens. The bottle opener has come in handy quite a few times. It's actually come in handy at work, even once. these scissors on here, for the first time ever, I actually had to pull out a pair of scissors because I needed to cut sandpaper, but I didn't want to use my blade because I didn't feel like sharpening the blade again. So I pulled out my scissors because I feel this is a cheap throwaway pair of scissors anyways. I'm rarely ever going to use, so why not? And surprisingly enough, it worked out very well, and the scissors still hold up. So, good job. Really good pair of scissors on here. This thing also comes with something that I've never seen before. It's a retail package opener. Has a fairly nice choil down here, so that way you can get a good grip and then just pull and drag. Because basically this is just a chisel ground blade. Nothing special about it, just got a really sharp pointy tip, and then a decent edge down here. That's about it. That's really all I can say about it. But it's comfortable, it works, but being fairly cheap steel, it'll probably crap out on you fairly soon if you're using it all the time. The blade on here is surprisingly sharp. I did not see this one coming from this knife, or from this multi-tool, I mean. It is very sharp. Again, fairly cheap steel, so I wouldn't exactly expect it to last for forever. I wouldn't exactly expect it to outlast some of my frost knives, which my grandfather got me. I think that I've bought all of one frost cutlery knife in my entire life, and that's the frost Talon, I think. Something Talon. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's Frost something Talon. Little Black Talon, that's it. Yeah, even that knife was probably going to outlast the edge on this thing. But, yeah, this is surprisingly sharp. For the people who actually buy this to use it as a knife, this is probably going to hold up just fine for anything they could ask for. But yeah, for any of us knife guys that are actually carrying this thing around, we're not using it for the blade. If we keep it sharp, it's just so that we can say we never carry around a dull knife. Which, honestly, I sharpened this thing myself. That's how I found out that it's actually sharp. Because it was not sharp out of the box. It was sharp after I put an edge on it. That's when I found out it could get sharp. Let's see, what else does this thing have? Has a very nice flathead screwdriver. The most action that it sees is on my main tactical folder, which I'll get to in just a second. Has a flathead screwdriver on it. I can use this to adjust it whenever I need to. It also has a much smaller flathead screwdriver, although that does fit fairly easily into most Phillips head screwdriver sets as well. It has a slotted file, whatever that's called, I don't quite know what it is, and a crosscut file. Not really big enough to do much of anything. In fact, the keychain loop here really gets in the way of most of the crosscut file, so there's really not much work that you can do right here. And honestly, the slotted file is just useless. You really can't use it for much because the grooves just aren't cut deep enough for it to be of any use. And the crosscut file, the same problem, but the grooves are also too wide and too far apart for them to, again, be of much of any use. So basically the file is useless. I'm just going to put it that way. The file is useless. But the screwdriver attachment, you can use that for Phillips or just a really small flathead. Now to get into the actual knives, I'll just start off with this one. It's the Kershaw Emerson CQC 7K. It is a modified Tonto design, has a bit of belly, makes it a bit better slasher, which it also has a bit of belly up here, but that's the part that I don't like, because that makes it a little bit more difficult to sharpen. I have to curve my hand a little bit more, and all in all, that part I don't like. But this thing accepts an edge very readily, as you can see, well, hopefully as you can see, I've got a fairly nice mirror polish on here. There's a bit of reflective, there we go, if you guys can't see that black going across the top of the edge, that's pretty much my phone that I'm reflecting across the edge. So, yeah, got a very nice mirror polish on here that I was able to put on there with my new 8,000 grit Naniwa or Naniwa, whatever you call it, Japanese water stone. Thoroughly impressed with the stone, loved it a lot. Basically, I've been going polishing crazy. Every knife that I carry has got to have a polished edge on it now. I just love the way that it looks. But yeah, this has kicked out much more expensive knives out of my pocket. And this is really the first tactical folder that I can say is a true EDC for me. I carry this thing every single freaking day. If I leave the house and I'm in plain clothes, this thing is in my pocket. Now, as far as my EDC knife, that would be this. And the reason why I say when I'm in plain clothes I carry that as my knife for a tactical is because whenever I'm at work, this is the main knife that I carry, and this is the only knife that I carry. Reason why this is the only knife that I carry whenever I'm at work is due to one simple fact. They asked me to. They asked me to only carry one knife whenever I'm at work. So they also asked for me to carry it a little bit more discreetly if I can. So that means carrying deep carry. Now, I've been seeing that my hold on for just a second. Okay, that should work out just a bit better. My apron covers up my knife pocket a little bit better, so I'm going to be switching out my knife fit every once in a while. But yeah, seeing as I might actually pull this out at my job, then that's why I don't solely carry this thing. It's because the next time I sharpen this thing, it'll be after I put it through somebody's gut. I do not plan on using this thing unless I need to pretty much kill somebody with it. That's really the only time that I plan on sharpening this thing ever again. But yeah, so I only carry EDCs to work now, but they do have to withstand the same task of possibly being able to defend my life. So I probably won't be carrying any low-end knives to work anymore. I probably won't be carrying any kind of budget Kershaws or anything like that to work. If I need to test them, then I'll test them around my house with just the random boxes that I've got. Basically anything that I've got lying around, I'll use that to test it. But pretty much anything below AUS 8, you probably won't see me carrying to work, because if I've got to use it, and use it a lot, then it's also got to be able to defend me if, say, I get into a scrap while I'm in the parking lot or something like that. Hold on, I've got to find a tissue. Okay guys, I'm back. But yeah, so basically anything under AUS 8 I probably won't be carrying to work all that much. I'll probably be sticking with things of LMAX, S30V, and this new knife in AUS 8. But yeah, so because I would actually trust this knife fairly well to hold up. I have had decent experiences with AUS 8 before. I do appreciate the steel. I like it fairly well. So yeah, this should hold up fairly well. But just finishing up with this one, this is the most comfortable knife I have ever held. Well, I can't say the most comfortable, but there's just something about the feel of this knife that just, it feels above and beyond anything that I've had before. It's not the most comfortable because it's not the most ergonomic, but this handle stands out above pretty much any other knife in my collection. There's just something about it. There's something about the thin profile that I just love. The contouring on this knife, the chamfering around the edges. There's not a sharp edge anywhere on this knife except right here, where it counts. Otherwise, there's just no sharp edges anywhere. The jimping is perfect. The action is phenomenal. I love the action on this knife. It beats out everything else. And I also did a bit of customizing work on it. I polished off the flats here and also the flats here, but I left the stonewashing inside of the milling. So it gives it just a bit of a two-dimensionality effect. Let me see if I can rub off this the flats on here so it shows up a little bit better. Okay, that's showing it up a little bit better. The non-reflective parts are where the stonewashing is still at, inside the milling. But yeah, so I polished that off. Took some of the black off the hardware, but I left it inside of the divots. Again, it just gives it a bit of two-dimensionality that I like. After I started grinding down the edge is now holding up phenomenally well. I no longer have a problem with a burnt edge. I finally just powered through enough of that it's no longer a problem. I've been using this knife for a while, and I still haven't lost the mirror polish yet. So this knife is holding up very well, and I see it holding up fairly well for the foreseeable future. This is, without a doubt, my favorite knife in my entire collection. This is going to be hard to kick, unless I get something that's like a full-on custom, or get something from like Riadi Knives or something like that. Maybe get a Red Horse. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really difficult to kick this thing out of my pocket. Probably the only thing beyond that is maybe getting a new ZT. But because I was looking at some of the new production ZTs that are coming out, that they just released a Blade Show. There's one, I don't quite remember which one it's called, but basically, if you've seen Red Horse knives, it looks like the ZT's take on the War Pig. Go look that up, and you will easily find the new ZT that I'm talking about. That one just calls out to me. I don't quite know what it is, but it's just calling out my name saying, "You want to buy me?" And I'm saying, yes, I do. I want to buy you. But pretty much all of ZT's new offerings, except for I think it's the 808. All of them except for that one knife are pretty much calling out to me saying, buy me, you know you want me. And I'm saying, yes, I do. But I'm also saying, look at my wallet. My wallet is screaming out to me saying, if you buy one more thing, I'm going to strangle you. But yeah, so short of getting something like that, this knife is going to be really, really difficult to kick out of my pocket. There's just something about the action being so incredibly silky smooth, being incredibly quick. The detent is almost perfect. It could definitely be tougher. My favorite detent that I've ever had is on my CRKT. This is my favorite detent. It is the hardest detent. It is the quickest, the fastest firing open knife that I own. There is no knife that actually beats this. But this knife comes very close. If the detent was harder, this could definitely give it a very good run for its money and possibly beat it. But otherwise, this is just my favorite knife. The only knife right now that's going to even have a shot at kicking it out of my pocket is this. Reason being is because I'm testing it. So therefore, if I want to get to actually reviewing this thing anytime soon, I've got to test it. So yeah, this thing is going to be kicking out my 801 temporarily until I feel I've got enough testing on it that I can actually give a solid review. Which it shouldn't be too much longer now. I should be able to get done with it fairly soon. But But yeah, so this is going to be the newest on my EDC carry for now, which I'm just going to get this out of the way real quick. The reason why I haven't been carrying this one, because I got it about a month ago, maybe just a little bit longer. The reason why I haven't already gotten to a review on this thing is because shortly after I took it apart, then it got mystery blade play. And also there was mystery parts that were now on my bed where I took it apart at that didn't fit back onto the knife. And all of them were washers. I did not know where these washers came from because they clearly did not fit the knife. They were far too small. If they were big, then I would have just put them back on. But they were far too small, and the knife came apart too easily for me to believe that it was just simply on there already. Maybe it shrunk or something like that. There were now mystery washers everywhere that did not fit, and this knife now had mystery blade play. So I had to call CRKT, and it took me a while to realize I could do that. Because, for one, I just never got around to it in time, but also I just never thought of it. Zero Tolerance is really the only company that I've ever actually dealt with and got a hold of. I tried Spyderco when there was something going wrong with my Tenacious. My Tenacious is still a piece of crap right now, because I'm actually still waiting on them to call me back, because their answering machine got a hold of me and said, leave your name, number, and the problem, and we'll get back to you shortly. I'm still waiting on that call over a year later. So yeah, not really impressed with Spyderco's warranty team, but CRKT got to me immediately. I told them what the problem was, and they sent me replacement screws for the pivot. They also sent me a replacement set of washers, although it's not the exact same set of washers for the MAW eraser, which is what this knife is. They did have to send a replacement set that was not for this knife, which, in order to get rid of the blade play, I actually ended up having to use both those washers and the washers that are already in this, just to make enough space. Because I think the real problem with this is the fact that the screw tightens all the way down, but then there's still a lot of play because there's so much space. So I ended up having to put in all the washers to take up the rest of the space, so that way there's zero blade play right now, no up and down, no side to side, and now it actually works. So yeah, this is a fairly quick opening knife now. Wow, my nose is really stopped up. I just now cannot breathe anymore. My nose actually clicks when I swallow. But yeah, so this is going to finally get some testing now that the blade play is gone. And I'm just going to tell you right now, this knife is designed in every way for tactical. I would call this a gentleman's tactical, but it is designed every way to be just such that. It's designed in reverse carry grip. Seeing as the choil is up here, the most natural grip is right here. The jimping is right here where you want it, and also right here, again, right where you want it. But there's absolutely no jimping up here. It is a modified reverse Tonto, which, again, makes it really good for defense. The slicing capabilities on this with the hollow grind and the really big belly, that's actually going to make it a better EDC. But yet, again, even in self-defense, this is really going to work out. So yeah, that's pretty much my EDC for now. My EDC carry for pretty much everything. I really don't see this changing anytime in the foreseeable future. At least not anytime soon. If I say I get one of the ZT Emersons, then yeah, this will definitely change out because I'll go with the ZT Emerson. But otherwise, really, I don't see anything changing as far as what I carry every day to every single place. This is all going to stay the exact same. So, as always, YouTube, stay safe.